Just keep quiet. Stop shouting. Bring your voice down. And then they said, you said I should abort the pregnancy. I did so. I aborted it. So I don't know what you are talking about. Ndidi said with a voice a little above whisper. The stranger looked at Ndidi and said, I will be gone for now, but just know that I will come back for my baby. The stranger said as he disappeared into thin air. During the wedding, Ndidi kept on looking round to be sure that Ejike, her ex, was not around. But to her relief, he was nowhere in sight. After the traditional wedding ceremony was over, Ndidi moved back to the city with Uchenna, her baby, and Anayo. Anurika's restaurant business was gradually growing as she had few people patronize her. However, anyone that ate her food never failed to return back to her restaurant. Anurika's first daughter Adane was very helpful to her. Though she was barely 10 years old, she understood that she needed to help her mother to relieve her for some of the stress. Adane would attend school, and whenever she closes from school, she would go to her mother's local restaurant and wash already used plates. Anurika was grateful to God for giving her such a good and thoughtful daughter. Mother, do not worry. Everything is going to be fine, Adane would tell her mother Anurika whenever she sees Anurika lost in thought. Those words melted the heart of Anurika as she would immediately stop thinking and let out a warm smile. Though Anurika was a graduate, she could not get a good job, but gladly, her food business was able to put food on her and her daughter's table and pay some of their bills. But the financial burden was too much for her. Raising 3 girls single-handedly was not easy, as her ex-husband Anayo did not bother to contact her or know how the children were doing. There was no form of child support from Anayo as he did not care. Though Anurika was educated, he did not want to channel all her energy on child support battle in court. So, she clearly knew what she was in for. On the other hand, Anayo was having the best time of his life, nurturing and taking care of Uchenna, his beloved son, and would neglect Ndidi. Ndidi was no longer finding Anayo's constant neglect funny. One day, Ndidi decided to approach Anayo. Anayo, this marriage is too one-sided. You don't have time for me. You don't discuss any of your plan with me. What have I done wrong to you? Ndidi said, feeling frustrated. Woman, what more do you want from me? Ndidi, I brought you from the village to the city and you are living large, eating my hard-earned money. You are still here complaining. If not that I needed a male child badly, you won't be here in the first place. Anayo fired at Ndidi. After the conversation that day, Ndidi never brought up the topic ever again. One day, Ndidi sat in the sitting room and then she got a call from an unknown number. Looking at her phone, she wondered who was calling with an unfamiliar number. She hesitated picking the call at first, but when the phone rang the second time, she decided to pick up the call. Hello, Ndidi said. I give you 2 weeks for you to return my son to me. The stranger said, What? Who are you? And what is the meaning of that? Ndidi said in an angry tone. 2 weeks, or else I am going to come to your house and take what is rightfully mine, the stranger said as he hung up. Ndidi stood up from the chair and started pacing round the house. She knew that the person on the phone must be her ex-boyfriend, who she had left few weeks before moving to the city. What am I going to do now? I can't do what he's asking. Never. Anayo is the father of my son, whether he likes it or not. Or should I report him to the police?
No, if I do that, Anayo is going to find out. I can't allow that to happen. I am in this house and in this marriage because of Uche and my son. If anything goes wrong, I will be doomed. What should I do now? Ndidi, speaking in monologue, pacing round the living room. Throughout that night, Ndidi could barely sleep as the words of Ejike disturbed her badly as she thought of ways to salvage the situation. Anayo stood up from the bed to go ease himself when he noticed that Ndidi was seated on the bed, her eyes wide opened. Ndidi, why are you not sleeping by this time of the night? Anayo said. Oh, my husband, I am not feeling okay. I could barely catch some sleep, Ndidi said. Anayo touched her body to see if her temperature was high, but noticed it was normal. But your temperature is normal, Anayo said. Yes, just that my stomach, I am having stomach ache, Ndidi replied. Oh, maybe you're pregnant, Anayo said with a smile. I don't think so, Ndidi responded. The next day, Ndidi came up with an idea. She needed to talk with Ejike, her ex. So when her husband left for work, she dialed the number. Hello, Ndidi said. So, have you made up your mind? Ejike said. Why are you doing this to me? I told you, you're not the father of my son. I aborted your pregnancy, Ndidi said in a very low tone. If you say that then, inform your husband. Let us go and do a DNA test, Ejike insisted. No, please, I don't want that. I can't afford to tell my husband or subject my son for a DNA test, Ndidi said, panicked. Then, be ready to face what comes next. Okay, please, just tell me, what do you want from me? Just name anything. Just name your price. I am ready to pay, please, Ndidi said. 10 million naira. I will only keep quiet and let the sleeping dog lie if you pay me 10 million naira, Ejike said. That is too much. Where do you want me to get such amount from? Ndidi said worriedly. Your husband is rich. Ask him, Ejike said as he hung up the phone. Ndidi started sweating profusely while the air condition was freezing cold. 10 million. How on earth am I going to raise such amounts? Ndidi thought to herself. The whole of that week, Ndidi thought of ways to get 10 million naira from Anayo. It was a tough one for her because though Anayo was a very rich man, he was also very stingy and does not spend recklessly. Anurika's local restaurant business was not getting the desired traction that Anurika had wished. But surprisingly, one day, a luxurious car parked outside her restaurant in front of her shop. It was more like a convoy. Anurika was shocked to see Chief Kanayo get down from his car together with some of his bodyguards. Anurika wondered what the almighty Chief Kanayo was doing in front of her shop. To her greatest surprise, Chief Kanayo entered her restaurant and then he said, Do you have fufu and vegetable soup? Yes, sir. Anurika answered as she hurriedly went to dish food for Chief Kanayo. While eating the food, Chief Kanayo was really impressed. Wow, this really tastes good. I love it, he said, shaking his head like an Angama lizard while he ate. When he was done, he asked for his bill. Anurika told Chief, to her greatest surprise, the chief paid for his food and dashed her extra money, which was very huge. Thank you, sir, Anurika said, calling on her children to come thank the chief for his kind gesture. Anurika's daughter thanked the chief. Are these your children? Yes, sir, they are my children, Anurika said, smiling. Wow, you don't look it. You don't even look like someone that has three children. You are so beautiful. Thank you, sir, Anurika answered, smiling at Chief Kanayo's words. The chief soon became a regular customer at Anurika's local restaurants. One day, Chief Kanayo called Anurika. Anurika sat down directly, carefully listening to what the chief was about to say. You are a very hard-working woman, the chief began. And anytime I see you, I know that you have a lot of potential. Thank you, sir, Anurika responded, smiling. So, I want to give you an offer, the chief continued. I want to invest in your food business. You are a good cook, and there are a lot of people who would not want to come here, not because you don't know how to cook, but because of the environment. You need to upgrade, and when you upgrade, you can attract customers who are willing to pay anything to have good food in their stomach. I am going to invest 5 million naira into your food business, the chief said. Anurika could not believe her eyes. She was shocked and happy at the same time. Am I dreaming? She thought to herself. Anurika stood up to hug the chief, excitedly, thanking him for his kind gesture. And then Chief Kanayo said, under one condition. Anurika froze, waiting to hear the condition the chief was about to give her. I want you to be my woman, the chief said proudly. Really? So this is what all this is about? You want me to be your girlfriend, really? See, Anurika, I will take good care of you, and your children will lack nothing, the chief emphasized, convincingly. Chief, or whatever you are called, I am not that type of woman you think I am. If you want to buy me with money, I am not interested in such offer. I love my girls. I love them so much, and I want to be a good role model to them. I am not interested in being one of your side chicks. If you think that you can't continue to buy food from me without anything attached, then I would advise you to stop coming to my restaurant, Anurika said angrily. After the close of the day, Anurika was pained. Few hours ago, she was really happy that someone was willing to help her grow her business, only to put a condition to it. Anurika vowed that she would always be a good role model to her girls and not the other way round. Ndindi, on the other hand, got a perfect plan to how she was going to raise the 10 million naira before the 2 weeks ultimatum elapsed. So, one day, Anayo was sitting at the living room watching football with his son, while Ndidi had gone to the market to get some groceries. After about 5 hours, Ndidi was not back from the market, which got Anayo really concerned and worried as to why Ndidi would stay long in the market. When it was 7 p.m., the door opened and Ndidi rushed home crying and shouting. Anayo was shocked, wondering what must have happened to Ndidi. What? What happened? Tell me, what happened to you? Anayo questioned Ndidi curiously and feeling panicked. Ndidi said, I was kidnapped. I was on my way to the market when a group of men accosted me with their guns. They took me away and then dropped me off somewhere, my eyes closed. I only managed to open my eyes, and lo and behold, I was in the middle of nowhere. I managed to run, but they were all gone. and they were gone with my car, the car you bought for me. They stole my car, Ndidi said, crying. This is serious, Anayo said, feeling pity for Ndidi. So you mean you are crying because of a car? What if they had killed you? I am grateful that you were not hurt. I can always get you a new car, Anayo said. Getting into the room, Ndidi was happy that Anayo did not even suspect anything. Apparently, Ndidi took the car and she sold it. She sold the car Anayo bought for her. The next day, Ndidi called Ejike. Your money is ready. How do you get it? Ejike gave Ndidi a location where they would meet. It was an hotel. Ndidi immediately went to the place. On getting there, she gave him the bag containing the money. Please, take this and just leave me alone, Ndidi said. Definitely, I will, but before I do that, I want you to do just one last thing for me. I want to make love to you for the very last time, Ejike said. You must be crazy. Ndidi fired at him. Don't you know I am a married woman? Ndidi said. Okay then, if you cannot do what I ask you, you can go with your money. I am no longer interested, he said. Okay, please, I am sorry. Just take the money and let me be. When Ndidi saw that he was not ready to let her be, she gave in and slept with Ejike. Ndidi was pained and sober for what she had done. After 1 month, Ndidi was confirmed pregnant by the doctor after a brief sickness. Anayo was the most excited as he was almost sure that Ndidi was going to give him another male child. When Ndidi gave birth to another son for him, Anayo fell in love with Ndidi completely for giving him 2 handsome sons. He would buy gifts for Ndidi and made sure she was comfortable. He also hired maids for Ndidi so as to help with the house chores while Ndidi took care of the 2 beloved sons that he had. Years passed and Anurika was able to train her daughters to the university with the little money she had made from her local restaurant business. Adanne, Anurika's first daughter, graduated as the overall best student in the university and she was given a scholarship to study abroad for her master's degree. Anurika's second daughter, Ifunanya, who had studied nursing, was already practicing in one of the biggest hospitals in the country, while Anurika's last daughter, who had always had a thing for singing, continued singing while she was still in the university, and upon her graduation from school, she continued her career in singing. When Adanne finished her master's program abroad, she came back home and Anurika was excited to see her beloved daughter. Adanne, my baby, you know you've always been my baby. See how you've grown so much in every aspect of your life, Anurika said, crying. Mother, I am who I am today because you stood by us. You stood by us. You never gave up on us, even when our father did, Adanne said, hugging her mother. Adanne did not bother to look for any white-collar job as she made her mother's restaurant her #1 priority, as she was also interested in the food business. She invested in the business and transformed the local restaurant, which started locally in a small corner shop, to a massive restaurant. Soon, the restaurant became a household name with a lot of branches all over the country. Their recipe was unique and different, which made the restaurant a global brand. Ndidi had been getting more calls often than usual. What surprised Anayo was that she always did not take those calls in his presence. Though Anayo was a bit curious, he was not bothered because he was sure that Ndidi, his wife, was faithful. He was too old to be bothered about things like that. Uchenna and Obi, their son, had returned from school after having numerous issues in school from their university. But Anayo was never happy. He was not happy with them. They would sleep till 12 midday doing nothing. They were not even bothered in looking for a job or joining their father in their building material business. He tried talking to them on several occasions to change and turn a new leaf. But the more he tried, the more he failed at it. Uchenna, you are my first son. Even if your brother Obi is misbehaving, that does not mean you should join him now. Father, please, just let me be. I don't need any form of stress in my life. Oh, what is it? Am I the only first son in this world? Every time, you know you are my first son. You know you are my first son. Please, let me breathe. Uchenna replied his father. Soon, Anayo started blaming Ndidi for not training the children well. You are a very bad mother. Your children are not well raised. See them, by this time of the day, they are still in bed sleeping while every young man is out there hustling. Anayo fired at Ndidi. So, you are blaming me now. You were always the one pampering these children from childhood, and now you are blaming me that I am the one that spoilt them. Oh, not me. You are supposed to blame yourself, Ndidi said. Is it me you are talking to like that? Anayo said angrily. See me, oh. Are we not just two people here? It is you I am talking to, Ndidi said as she hissed and walked out on Anayo. Anayo was tired of the constant quarreling in the house, so most times when he closes from his business place, he will stop at a beer parlor and have some drink. Kaima, Anurika's last daughter, was getting popular by the day as one of her songs blew up and got a lot of recognition. She was always invited for interview. One day, Anayo sat down in his sitting room listening to the news when Uchenna changed the television station. Uchenna, what is the meaning of this? Anayo said angrily. Father, don't worry. I want to listen to the interview of my celebrity crush, Kaima. Anayo could not say a word as Uchenna sat down watching the interview. The interviewer asked Kaima a question and then she said, My name is Kaima, as you all already know. I was raised by my mother single-handedly. We are 3 girls and I am the last daughter. My father rejected us because we are female children. So, my mother took up the responsibility in raising us. And in case you don't know, my full name is Kaima Anayo. Anayo froze at the mention of the name. He knew immediately that Kaima was his daughter. Tears rolled down his cheeks. Father, why are you crying? Do you like her? You like her too? No, father, don't tell me that. She's my celebrity crush, Uchenna said. Anayo managed to stand up from his seat as he went into his room. Uchenna was surprised at his father's action. He immediately told his brother Obi and they started laughing because they could not understand why a full-grown man would cry listening to just a mere interview. Uchenna and Obi were so dumb that not even their common surname with Kaima struck a chord or even gave them a clue. Ejike, Ndidi's ex-boyfriend, had been married for years without children, so He decided that he would rather go and introduce himself to Uchenna and Obi, since Ndidi stopped picking up his calls and blocked him everywhere. So one day, Anayo sat in the sitting room when he had a knock at the door. He stood up to go check who was at the door. When he opened, he saw a man of about 50 years. "How can I help you?" Anayo asked. "I want to see Ndidi," the strange man said, removing his hoodie. "How can you come to my house and you have not introduced yourself and you are asking for my wife?" Anayo said angrily. As they were talking, Ndidi walked in and immediately she sighted Ejike. She was about running back when Ejike spotted her. "Come back here, Ndidi. Game is over. I need my sons," Ejike said firmly. What are you talking about?" Anayo inquired. "Those young men in your house, they are my sons," Ejike said. "What?" Anayo looking confused, surprised, and shocked. "Ask your wife. Ask Ndidi. I impregnated her twice. She gave my sons to you for you to father them," Ejike said confidently. "Ndidi, what is this fool talking about?" Um, Ndidi, you can't say anything." Anayo immediately had a heart attack and slumped. Life is full of a lot of unexpected things. No secret lasts forever. Every child is important, whether male or female. Always count the repercussion of your actions before you embark on any. Tell me the valuable lessons you've learned from this story and where you're watching from. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed. Like this video, please, and share to your loved ones. Until I come your way again, for now, from me, it is bye.